So we are group number 5, and we're going to be talking about learners who learn by doing would be the title of our chapter. And we are Janelle, Anahita, and myself, Benjamin, to discuss kinesthetic learners and hands-on activities, even in online courses.
The kinesthetic learner is a learner who learns by doing. These particular students better grasp content with hands-on activities. Some semantic knowledge doesn't transfer as readily to psychomotor or conditional problem solving, so when effectively instructing these objectives, they should include rehearsal activities. Students may be in courses that have more of these types of learnings, which would be very helpful for your online course. Kinesthetic learners are easily frustrated or bored by visual or auditory information. People who have this style of learning often struggle through traditional means and sedentary activities like lectures and conferences. Their minds simply can't make the connection that they're doing something when only listening or observing.
And again, just beyond individual learner characteristics, it may be more helpful to include hands-on activities depending on the context. So again, those psychomotor and those problem-solving skills are best learned in distinct hands-on rehearsals, so students can practice individual learning objectives before any assessment is conducted. So we're going to start talking, and the three of us will share some illustrative stories and examples about learners who learn by doing and strategies that instructors can use to meet their needs. So I'll start off with my own experience in the anatomy lab at Baylor College of Medicine. Many people are aware that kind of going through an anatomy dissection with a cadaver is a rite of passage for medical students. And currently there's a push inside of the medical education community, though, that maybe a lot more of this could be online or virtual anatomy, learning anatomy virtually. And there's been a lot of resistance to that, myself included, though, because my experience was so impactful. So besides the smell that everybody kind of is aware of, and the kind of visceral emotional reaction to understanding that, wow, this is a human body that I am working on, and somebody has been incredibly generous in donating their body just for our education as well. Beyond those components, they really add to the memorability of the experience, right? And making anatomy structures tangible as well helps link these anatomical concepts together. So instead of looking at a CT scan and seeing just a blurry shape that may or may not be a nerve in my face, I'm actually able to say that, yes, that is the cranial nerve number 5, the trigeminal nerve, because I have held it, dissected it, and really have a much more emotional connection or memory beyond whatever a CT scan might say.
Another example near and dear to our hearts in Houston is the NASA program. After John Glenn completed his successful first orbital flight, NASA simulation focused on specific problems that were to be encountered in the launching, flight, entry, and landing of the spacecraft designed for each set of missions. When they developed the lunar lander, for example, every detail from the composition of the dirt to the decreased lunar gravity were taken into account and built into the simulation. Tests were even made at night with lighting simulating the low position of the sun that would be present in the actual lunar landing. All of the astronauts who were scheduled to make lunar landings in the Apollo program had to take part in test runs made under those conditions. It was critical that they not just read and memorize the manual, but that they practice the sequence of tasks over and over in order to build their muscle memory. Though far more advanced than the simulations used on the lunar lander, the simulators today still require that astronauts spend hours training in simulators for every minute they're going to fly in space, so that they're familiar with planned activities and can react quickly to unusual events. Kinesthetic learners can also benefit from some of these strategies by using simulation, repetition, rehearsal, and collaboration.
Returning to school. A young mother is returning to college. She is strongly motivated about the program, but lacks confidence and soon feels overwhelmed. This is the story of Basma. Basma has recently returned to college, having left the school some years ago. She has experience as a part-time care assistant. She is a young mother and is involved in a range of voluntary community activities. Basma is strongly motivated, but lacks confidence due to her previous experiences of formal learning. Shortly after starting the program, Basma feels overwhelmed by the volume of text-based sources of information and modes of delivery. She is quickly demotivated and struggles to see how her experiences connect with the course. She wants to make a contribution, but feels excluded.
So now we're going to transition to concrete recommendations for kinesthetic learners in online courses.
Use a learning style diagnostic assessment tool to identify the different ways in which students learn. Incorporate a wide range of different teaching and learning strategies to accommodate the varying needs of learners. Present information in different forms to facilitate learning. Encourage students to expand the range of strategies they use. Respond to students' needs and preferences by designing content and blended learning activities. Incorporation of the above recommendations into the course made Basma feel more confident in herself as a learner. She developed strategies to enhance her learning and was able to engage fully with the program. She feels reconnected to the course.
And in addition to those strategies that helped Basma, instructors can also remember that it could be as simple as changing the learning environment in which students are engaging with content and practicing these activities. For example, an assignment could ask students to go out into the community and take pictures or find evidence of a particular concept that's being discussed. Furthermore, they could be asked to go into a lab of some sort and engage in an experiment or some other experiential learning that helps string abstract concepts together again.
Variety of strategies such as cooperative learning, meaningful e-learning content, simulation and gaming, feedback, and virtual reality. Evidence shows that cooperative learning significantly increases academic performance and achievement and has positive effects on peer relations and self-esteem. Meaningful e-learning content has the potential to enhance learners' self-motivation and generate positive feelings like enthusiasm and persistence. Simulation and gaming can present interactivity between participants and allow experimentation and discovery learning of complex skills in close to real-world environment. Traditional feedback for teaching psychomotor skills include verbal feedback and demonstration. This form of feedback does not leave a visual component for future reference. With the help of CoachEye and annotating technology, it is possible for instructors to leave voice comments and draw lines and arrows on video clips of recorded performances. This technology makes it possible to compare the performance with a standard performance on a split screen. Use of virtual reality technology in STEM education significantly improves the learning performances and hands-on activities. Visual reality might be able to help the students understand abstract scientific concepts and build mental images to organize knowledge.
Traditional online courses rely heavily on text-based and video-based or auditory learning, which doesn't work very well for the kinesthetic learner. However, instructors can incorporate aspects of kinesthetic learning to help those learners succeed. They can encourage students to perform tasks alongside video instruction rather than just watching them. And simulations, hands-on projects, role-playing, and using models are all great options for this type of learner.
Benefits of teaching hands-on skills in blended environments. These are flexibility of student learning, ability for students to review and repeat information, increased student participation and preparedness, increased class time for course content application.
In summary, incorporating hands-on activities into online courses, such as the ones discussed, will help kinesthetic learners get the most out of the instruction. Some of the ones we suggested were changing the physical environment, simultaneously performing activities alongside videos, and incorporating cooperative learning and gaming and simulations into online courses. In addition, using a tool like the VARK questionnaire at the beginning of the course can help both the instructor and student develop strategies for success. Really hope you've enjoyed this presentation and learned a little bit about the kinesthetic learner.